Hello everybody and welcome back to the router cabinet build series. In the last episode we got the doors made and everything, they're looking lovely, and we're going to start making the hangers for the back as well as clean it all up and maybe attach the cleats to the back as well. So let's get going. Okay, so we're going to start with the hangers today, which is quite a tricky thing because we need to make some jigs to put it through the thicknesser. To basically hold it in a little V section like that in order to take the top section off. And the order in which I do this is quite important. So I've got a big slab of wood here. That is going to start off at 40 by 60. And then the first thing I do is when it goes through the thicknesser, I need to take off this corner here. So it's going to be sitting in a little cradle like that kind of thing. So the top section will come off and that will ensure that it's parallel along its entire length to this bottom edge here. Once I've got that, I then need to flip it round, and this is the confusing bit. I need to get another V jig for it. And then after I've got that one, I need to flip it round so then that section that I've flattened off is on the side. And then we're going to take off that top bit instead. So originally it would have been a shape like that. All of this will come off, and then that will leave us with this thingy, which will be, that's where the shank of the router bit's going to go, and they will come out like that, and then there's the spinny bit. And essentially when they're in the cabinet, they're going to be tilted forward, so stored at 45 degrees, and then you get the best use of space within the cabinet rather than storing them upright or flat.
Talking to the camera while I'm just like hanging right in front of it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That'd be all right. Doesn't matter too much.
Don't understand.
What? This?
Yeah. Where's the back wall?
Here. That is where the back wall is. Back wall's there, and then we've got another one going below it. So they'll all be stored at 45 degrees. Essentially, what I need to make is a little cradle like this first that allows me to put the blocks of wood in the thicknesser. That's going to take off.
Oh, I see.
And flatten off that, because it's not like you can just balance it in there.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Cool. That's good. That's good. We like that. Right, so yeah, as I said, I need to take the top corner off of this on two sides in order to create those weird shaped blocks, which means holding it in the thicknesser at this sort of angle. So to do that, I'm going to make a cradle. I'm going to try and draw this in 3D. That's got a series of V blocks like that, probably made out of MDF. So maybe like 4 of them perhaps, probably do the trick. Probably in better alignment than that. But there'll be 3 or 4 of those all in a line, and then I'm going to stick a bit of MDF that goes between them that creates a cradle all the way along. Does that look good from up there?
I think so. Why not?
So yeah, I'm going to do that. The important thing about this is making sure the bottoms of those V's are all in line with one another. I could make this really accurate and completely over-engineer it, but I just want to get this done for the sake of today, just to make sure we get it done before the day's up. So that's what I need to make now, and then it's going to be sitting on a sled underneath that will rest on the thicknesser bed with a little hook at the front to prevent it being sucked through from the feed rollers that are going to be pulling the material through. So that's going to stay stationary, and then the material should just slide through the track on top. Make sense?
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
My drawing's so bad. Look at the state of that, it's like hieroglyphics.
I'm sure he practices in the mirror with a marking gauge just to get that perfect pose as he gauges down it.
No.
You know, you're just
I
like.
wouldn't call it a perfect.
Is it perfect, is it?
It's just you. It looks like you're properly presenting it as you're doing it.
No, it's just use your belly. There's nothing flattering about it. Otherwise, like that, you pushed it behind you all the time. Anyway.
Ooh. Yay!
Right, so the router bit holders are all shaped, cut to length, and they fit perfectly within the cabinet. I just want to talk a little bit about the order in which I did these because I made a small mistake in that process. This is one that has been fully cut out on the bandsaw, hasn't been thicknessed or anything yet. The order in which you do this, you have to do that short side first, because if you cut it to this shape, if you look at the end of this, when it's cut to its final shape, if you're trying to thickness that edge, there's a chance for that to rock. It probably won't happen because the thicknesser is pushing into the bottom of that V, but if you do that face first, there we go. So while this was in one piece, there you go. So if it was that shape, you would do that edge first, and then after that is thicknessed, it would be doing that face afterwards. So quite important to get that order right. Bandsaw it, thickness that face, then bandsaw that edge, thickness that face. So now, to attach these to the cabinet, I'm not really sure how I want to do it. I thought about screwing it from the back, which will be pretty good. It means that I could remove them later if perhaps they don't work out or something like that. Get in there. Very good fit. So, I've put that in upside down, haven't I? No. Yes, put it in backwards. Oh. Bear with me. Here comes the music. Here comes the music. The longer this takes me, the more stressed I'm going to get as well. There we go.
The louder the music gets.
There. So, if I screw them from the back, it means that I can remove them later, which will be pretty handy. The other thing I need to attach is the cleat on the back to hang this cabinet on the wall. Now to attach that, I could glue it, but I also want to screw that as well. But I don't want screw heads to be shown from the inside of the cabinet. Ideally, I would hide them behind one of these cleats, which means I need to do the cleat first before attaching them. Yeah, make the cleat, screw it through here. Once I've done that, I then screw through the back to attach these. Yes, that is the order in which we need to do it. So I'm going to make the cleat out of this bit of oak, I think, because I can thickness that down to the exact dimension I need. Originally, I said I was going to do this out of 9mm plywood, 12mm plywood, sorry, but I forgot to buy some, so make it out of this instead. Done. So the cleat on the back is cut. So to get the location of this, I'm going to put one of these router bit holder thingies in here. There we go. And that is going to be 40mm. That's going to be challenging. I need to draw a line. So it's going to be 40mm from the top. So I'm just going to draw it there and there. Oh, it's challenging when they're like this. There we go. There. So that's where it's going to be in its final resting place. So then that makes that the bottom. The top one. Which means I've got a little area there where I can screw in the cleat from behind where it wouldn't be seen. So I've got some 15s, I think. Right, so 70. 70. At the moment, I'm finding the midpoint of where the cleat's going to be hanging on the back and making sure that's going to be hidden behind the front, the outer bit holder. So that'll be where it's going to be. Now I need to drill clearance holes for the screws, which will be 4mm.
So, like when you've got the cleat on there, I guess you put the opposite side of the cleat on the wall.
Yep.
And then is it a case of just hooking?
Yep. It literally just hooks on.
And then would you use any glue or just hook?
No. So you actually, you think that the more weight that you put in the cabinet, technically the stronger it makes that joint.
That's true.
Itself together tighter, as long as that is fixed to the cabinet securely.
Yeah.
Which it should be.
And the other part's fixed to the wall securely.
Yes, yeah. So I'm going to put a few more screws in it now. I've got those 5 locating it, just to be sure.
So, and then you just use a cleat in general because it's a really strong
it's just easy.
joint? Right.
Just easy, yeah. Right, so I've had the, what are they called? Router bit holders attached to the cabinet, and I've taken them off now because it is time to drill the holes to accept the actual bits. So, before I go ahead with this, just want to do a quick warning for those of you who want to build this after me. Make sure you attach these blocks to the correct face, because this one, is this the correct one? No, that one's right. Which one went wrong? This one. This one, see it's got holes in the back? I accidentally screwed it to this face, when in fact, I wanted to screw it to that face. It doesn't make a huge difference, but screwing it this way allows more clearance underneath for the router bits that are going to be stored under there at 45 degrees, whereas that way, it's just an inefficient use of space. So very easy to mistake. As you can see, it happened on one of them here, but I had spares anyway, so it doesn't matter. So, to drill the holes, going back to my trusty jig, and they will be placed in like that, and then I'll just put them under the pillar drill, start drilling them out at, I think, 25 mil spacings, so just over an inch, just under an inch, sorry. Yeah, be able to get plenty in there. So I've got 5 holders in here. The top 2 are going to be for 1/4 inch router bits, and the bottom 3 are going to be for 1/2 inch. Quick update on where things are at, because I realise we're sort of steaming through this. The cabinet is all sanded, the racks are all fitted. I realised I made a small mistake with this, which I didn't tell Rob.
Wait, what?
I was meant to make, it's only a small mistake, it's fine. I originally said I wanted to make 3 of these out of 1/2 inch holes, and then 2 out of 1/4 inch, and I've just drilled, I've done it the wrong way around.
You failed.
Yeah, so at least I've got to take them off, remount them, and then drill them out at a later date when I have enough router bits to fill it, because I prefer to use 1/2 inch rather than 1/4 inch, but never mind. The other thing I've done is added the bottom spacer to account for the thickness of the cleat at the top. Now, I don't really need this because the outside of the cabinet is the same thickness anyway, but the added benefit of screwing that in is that it pulls the back panel closer to the shelf, which meant there was less spring in it. So it's kind of just made the whole cabinet feel more rigid. So now it's time for hinging the doors. Now these are going to be hinged on the face of the cabinet, and this isn't going to be a tutorial because I've already done that video. I'll also be tuning these hinges using files and sandpaper and stuff, which I've also done a tutorial on, so there'll be a link in the top corner to those and in the description. So it's just going to be more video, more music, and then at the end of it, these will all be hinged. Yeah? Yeah. Sound good?
Yeah.
Sound good?
Indeed.
Let's do that.
Woo.
Ah. Stop it. Still filming, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, I pretended to press start.
I know you did. Go on then. I'll have a Velveeta. Go on then.
They're a little bit broken up, so feel free to grab 2 halves.
I love Velveeta.
Yes.
I've lost.
Give me all the sound samples.
Oh no! It's so dry. I can't swallow it.
Oh, what another point.
Wow. It's so dry. Back to what I was doing. Oh my God, I've got Velveeta all around my mouth.
Is that meant to be a D?
Yes.
And the C is half in the groove?
Yes.
Right.
A, B, C, D.
Okay. So I've got to get all the letters now because Matt's been practicing his letters. He's been getting really good.
Literacy with Matt.
Oh.
Yes. I most certainly would. Was that a genuine offer, or are you just trying to sabotage me again?
A little bit of both.
Was it?
If you genuinely would like one.
I mean, I would. Just slipped. Yes, I would genuinely like one.
No.
Just so I would genuinely like the camera to stay where it is and not film me after I get a dry mouth after eating it.
Yeah, they always break.
Well, my problem is I ate the whole thing in one.
That is your issue. So you move the camera.
Yeah.
And then you decided to do all the woodworking outside of frame.
I'm in frame.
You're not at all.
This is in frame.
You are not at all in frame.
What? Oh. Oh, wait, it's because I thought that was the bottom of the door. It's not, is it? That's the bottom of the door.
So it's absolutely fine where it was.
No, it wasn't. It was rubbish. That's better. The whole thing to drop down, and then it'll go straight in there. Oh yeah!
What's that voice?
Don't know. Camera's off though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sweet!
What? No! Oh, I thought I turned it off.
Well, what I did was I put my hand behind and just pressed record while you were doing that. What I panicked about was I thought you literally turned it. If you'd literally turned it off, it wouldn't have worked. Outro?
Yeah, I guess I should probably do that, shouldn't I? Just need to work out what I'm actually saying. Good progress. Something like that. See you later. Oh
no! Jeez, you almost just whacked the drill up. Right, I'm getting out.
Cool, let's do that. I like that. You know, should I cut a hole in the back for my face?
I wonder what you're going to say then.
Anyway, good progress made today. Got these things attached. Haven't really figured out a formal name for them yet. And the doors hinged, looking good. We've got a little bit of wonkiness on the top here, which I'm going to sort out. Probably won't do it on camera because I could do it in a later video. Basically, it just means taking a little bit off the walls in the hinge here, just allowing it to shift a little bit. Very simple to do. So as I said, if you want to know how to hinge, or if you want to know how to tune up hinges, I'll move away from the back of the cabinet. I've already done videos on that, so links in the description, well worth a watch if this is something you're interested in doing. The next video will be an overview of the entire build, and you will see this hung on the wall, filled with router bits and router accessories, and it should look pretty damn sweet. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to press that little like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.